we should have more Republicans on the show, but they don't want to come on. They're scared of us.
I can't believe the ladies at The View actually said this with a straight face. Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another short form video. And we're going to talk about the bastion of wisdom and insight known as The View, the ABC news show. Is it a news show? I think they call it a news show, but it's not really. Anyway, they have a very liberal-leaning panel. They kind of have one never Trump token Republican, Alyssa Farah Griffin, and then the rest of them are typical kind of card-carrying Democrats, and not the brightest bulbs, and also not the most self-aware. So we're going to take a look at a clip from The View that I found so funny because they're just making it so clear how delusional they are, how out of touch with reality. They don't have any sense of self-reflection at this point. Oh, and the context for this clip is that they had just concluded an interview with Cheryl Hines, the wife of RFK Jr., who is not a Republican, hard to pin her down ideologically, but she did disagree with them on some points, and it got rather spicy and rather contentious. So now let's take a look.
Welcome back. That was interesting. But that's the great thing about The View. You know, we want people to come and give their views. And everyone who comes here, we try to be respectful and we ask tough questions. We ask tough questions because we're otherwise speculating. Mm-hmm. Right. So we can ask. Go ahead, Joe.
I was going to say that I think that we should have more Republicans on the show, but they don't want to come on. They're scared of us. It's like Marjorie Taylor Greene says that she finds the Republican men afraid of powerful women. Well, that may be true of all the political persuasions. But if they would come on this show and they can explain to us what they're trying to do to this country.
And we've had some good ones, but like I always think it's helpful when we have like Ted Cruz. I think we should have. We've invited Mike Johnson. Thomas Massey's been super interesting.
Yeah. Has anyone ever come on? No.
Well, Cruz has, but I'd like to have him back on.
Yeah, Ted Cruz has come on, and I think it would be wonderful.
On Trump.
Your boyfriend Chris Christie on.
My boyfriend Chris Christie's invited here anytime.
And I do think it's important that Robert Kennedy Jr. comes on this show.
We're going to be right back in a second.
I'm going to be honest, there's just a lot that's comical about this. The idea that they ask tough, hard-hitting questions is just not true to anybody who's watched the interviews that they've done with liberal or Democratic politicians, where they're very much fawning over these people. Okay, it is not some hard-hitting enterprise they've got going on here. They're not asking the tough questions. And then I kind of agree that they ask tough questions when a Republican candidate comes on, like a Ted Cruz or politician that is. But it's not really done in a particularly thoughtful or insightful way. It's more just angry and shouting down and interrupting, and it becomes chaos. Now, do I like to watch the chaos? Do I live for the chaos a little bit? Yeah, because I love me a messy woman. I will be honest, and so that is why I enjoy The View. It is a guilty pleasure of mine. However, it always astounds me how little these women know about politics, despite being paid millions of dollars per year to be professional political analysts on this massive show where they get to interview presidents. They got to interview Biden, Kamala, all these people, and yet they know very little. And this will become relevant later, but I want to show you guys this clip of when they some of them seemed to suggest that Jill Biden, Joe Biden's wife, should be made Surgeon General. Listen to this.
I'm hoping Dr. Jill becomes a Surgeon General, his wife.
Yeah,
Joe Biden's wife, because she's, he would never do it, but she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
I thought she was a doctor and
PhD.
Yeah, I don't.
I could be wrong. I thought she was
I don't think so. She's a teacher, but
she's a hell of a doctor. She's an amazing doctor.
So Jill Biden is a doctor, as in a PhD, but she is not a doctor or a medical professional. But yes, these are the insightful, stunning, and brave women. It's just funny to me. And then the idea, back to the main clip, the idea that any Republican is scared of them is so absurd. so many Republican commentators and conservative women would be happy to come on that show. And I can tell you, I mean, there are some people who they actually might be intimidated by, who are, however you feel about them, like impressive debaters or very tough hosts. Mehdi Hassan comes to mind. I listen, I disagree with him on most things. I don't always think he operates in good faith, but he's excellent interrogator and debater. These women are not that, if we're being honest. And my X feed was just flooded with people, both women and Republican men, tagging The View and saying, happy to do it. We've reached out to you in the past. We've pitched ourselves. You haven't wanted us on. And so it rings hollow to me when they say this. But I mean, I like the idea that they're espousing here. Oh, well, we have all viewpoints represented, but it's just not really true. You know, it doesn't actually represent what they do on their show. It's a goal worth striving for, but if they've been striving for it, then they've been falling quite short, if you ask me. Now, I want to play this clip as well, because remember all the tough questions they ask and how sharp they are. They had just had on Cheryl Hines, who is, again, the wife of RFK Jr., the head of HHS under President Trump, and a very controversial figure with whom I have many disagreements. I don't share a lot of his theories and ideas about medicine and other things, but they tried to like grill his wife on how unqualified he was and all this, and it didn't go well for them. Take a look at this clip.
This is not your fight, really, to be fighting. Yeah. This is your husband's fight.
Thank you for acknowledging that. But go ahead. But hear what we're talking about.
I do want to say, you know, he's not a doctor and he's not a professional.
Yes.
And oftentimes when he's speaking, he is speaking not with the best information that we can get, because, you know, yeah, we could do a lot better with health stuff. And there's a lot of stuff he can do. And some of the things he's suggested take it out of the hands of my doctor and me and my OBGYN and me. And I wonder, does it give you pause, and are you able to say, you know, that might not actually be so, because I've got my experience and I've lived with this, and I'm still here. So are you able to have those conversations with her?
I am able to have those conversations. And just to be clear, 90% of secretaries of HHS have not been doctors.
But they've had a science background.
There have been 3.
Yeah.
No, to be honest.
One of Obama's secretaries of HHS was an economist.
But
So
the majority of them that haven't had medical backgrounds have had a science background.
Wait, don't
which
do
our
anything
husband doesn't
else.
have either.
Don't say anything else yet.
Because I do
we
wanna-
have to take a break.
So what's just so funny to me about this is that whatever you think of RFK Jr.'s ideas, the fact that he isn't a doctor isn't really relevant to him being HHS secretary or not. Biden's HHS secretary, not a doctor, a career politician, in fact, Xavier Becerra. Many, as Cheryl pointed out, actually most of the heads of HHS have not been doctors. So they're trying to pull a gotcha, they're trying to do a big one, and it just doesn't work because they don't actually know what they're talking about. And yet they get paid millions of dollars for this, and then seem without a hint of awareness, of self-awareness, to be like, yeah, everyone's so scared of us. We're so badass. This is my public invitation. I will gladly come on The View. I don't know that I count as a Republican. I'm not a registered Republican anymore, but I will gladly come on and discuss some things with you ladies. Hit me up any time. Who would you like to see? I can think of a few Republicans I would enjoy on that show. Where to even begin? But like, does it have to? I would love to have Ben Shapiro on that show. I will be watching and sipping my tea. If it has to be a woman, though, they have male guests as well. It could be interesting to see Tommy Lauren on that show. That could be interesting. I am here for it, is all I'll say. I will bring my popcorn and munch, and we will react. So if they actually mean what they're saying here, great, but I don't think they do, because I think they know that it would not go well for them. Heck, when they have this woman, Cheryl Hines, who is not even a political person, is not a political professional, not even clear what her ideology is, but just has some basic familiarity with the facts about her husband's position, they got schooled instantly. And they unironically suggested not that long ago that Jill Biden should be Surgeon General, which actually is supposed to be a doctor, unlike HHS Secretary. Oh my gosh. Anyway, guys, you let me know what you think in the comments below. Make sure you're subscribed, hit the like button, yada, yada, yada. And if you're interested in my longer form content, check out my podcast, Brad vs. Everyone, where I take on internet insanity and social media craziness, all from an independent perspective. You can listen on Apple Podcasts, Spotify, iHeartRadio, or wherever you get your podcasts, all linked in the description. And with that, guys, we'll be back with more content real soon.